Meanwhile, the third round of crucial talks between farmers and central government is underway at Vigyan Bhavan. Over 40 farmer representatives are holding talks with central ministers. Earlier on, Prime Minister Modi held two crucial meetings at his residence. The first meet was attended by Home Minister, Amit Shah Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar and the Food and Distribution Minister Piyush Goyal. The second meet was attended by Shah and Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. India Today has accessed inside track of Prime Minister's meet. As per sources, Centre can propose some amendments in the farm laws. The government may also give a written assurance on continuing MSP purchases. They may propose widening role of APMCs to strengthen mandis. Government may also impose compulsory registration of private sectors. Along with that, government may also offer 1 crore fine for stubble burning and review farm electricity law. This even as farmers toughen their stand, announcing nationwide protest on 8th December if the government doesn't concede to their demands. I want to immediately cut across to both Rahul Srivastav and Anand Patel, who are getting us both sides of the story. Will the government concede? How much ground will they concede? And will the farmers relent? I want to cut across to our National Affairs Editor, Rahul Srivastav first. Rahul, how much is the government willing to give today in this meeting?
Preeti, as far as this meeting is concerned, on Thursday evening, the government had indicated that it was ready to soften its stand. But as the character of these meetings we have seen on Tuesday, Thursday and today, the farmers have entered as very tough negotiators. They're taking the maximum position that scrap the farm bills or nothing. And that's where lies the challenge for the government. The farmers are sending out strong signals. Just 2 minutes back, a vehicle rolled inside the Vigyan Bhavan carrying the tea and snacks for the farmer union leaders who are inside. Yet again, they are indicating that they are not ready to accept the hospitality offered by the government. These are the signs that the farmers are sending out. So today morning, yesterday night, what we are told that there were some farm unions who were saying that if the government is ready to amend the bills drastically, several changes are made, then we can think about calling off the protests. But then there is a majority which stepped in and said that very strongly, no, till the farm bills are scrapped and repealed, we will not be going back as far as our entrenched positions are concerned. And that is where lies the challenge again for this government, because today in the meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the word was from the Prime Minister that attempt to resolve the crisis as quickly as possible. The government has agreed to we are being told about 9 points of concessions as far as the 39 demands which were offered by the farmers. Despite that, what one can now see is that the farmers are still driving for that one large demand that there should be the scrapping of the bills. MSP should be included in the statute. Scrap the bills, we'll sit down together again and we'll create new bills. That's one element that the government cannot accept. So the negotiations are on. The government is trying to offer more and more concessions, but it seems that one clinching point of convergence is yet to arrive.
Stay with me, Rahul. Let's cut across to Anand Patel. Anand, what is the stand of the farmers right now? Is it going to be that that they're going to stand for all three bills to be taken back completely? Or is there seemingly a fracture right now in farmers' unity where some of them would possibly be okay accepting the government's concessions?
Preeti, let's be very clear about this, that none of the farmer union leader has the liberty to backtrack on the promise he had done to his brethren and farmers who have come along with him so far. For 7 days they are sitting here. They've come all the way from Punjab and different parts of the country, particularly Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, Haryana as well. And they cannot go back on the promise which they had made to the farmers that the three laws will be repealed and nothing less than that will be acceptable. So the farmer leaders have no choice but to stick to their demand with which they have come here. If they try to backtrack on that, if they try to accept the government's amendments which the government has been promising after the fourth round of talks, and today 3 more amendments and concessions have been promised. But the farmers cannot accept that. The problem is the farmers have come up with a straight mind that they will go back only once the laws will be repealed. See, the farmers are not negotiators, they are agitators. And that is the reason why it's a problem for the government at hand to deal with them. the sticking points which were there, Preeti, be it the MSP issue which the government has agreed to give it in writing that they will continue with it, be it the APMC Mandi Bypass Act which the government has said that the taxation will be at par in the private mandi as well, be it the stubble burning clause, be it the electricity amendment bill, the government is agreeing to all these demands. And also the government has said up till now the contract farming was appealed to be appealed in the SDM court, but the government said you can go and appeal to the higher courts as well. So all the sticking points which were there demanded by the farmers, government is ready to accommodate them, but the farmers are not accepting anything less than repealing the laws, and that is the reason why we are seeing talks after talks after talks. The government's strategy of tiring the farmer union leaders in talks and having long conversations is not working at all. The farmers are here for a long haul. You can see the kind of preparations which are there at the borders. The langars are going on. The support which is there on the ground for these farmers, be it the transport unions, be it the taxi owners, be it the fuel stations which are giving free fuels to the buses which are plying the farmers from the villages to the protest site, be it the Khap panchayats in Haryana. Right. The ground is swelling for the farmers, and that is the reason why they are not ready to backtrack and not ready to accept the amendments, but sticking to their one-point demand that the 3 laws be repealed.
All right, gentlemen, both of you, stay on with us. Let's quickly cut across to all the reactions filtering in right now.
देखिए, दरअसल बैठक में जो बात होगी उसी पर भरोसा किया जा सकता है, और कुल मिला के मैं तो आशावान हूं कि निश्चित रूप से किसान सकारात्मक दिशा में सोचेंगे और आंदोलन का रास्ता छोड़ेंगे।
सरकार संशोधन करने को तो राजी है, शायद कानून वापस लेने को राजी नहीं, तो क्या आप लोग इस पे राजी हैं?
नहीं, हम तो नहीं राजी अभी।
आप चाहते हैं कानून हटे?
हाँ, बदल जाते हैं, बना लेंगे ना, फिर बना लेंगे, सब मिल बैठ के बना लेंगे जी।
ये जो शुभा व्यक्त किया जा रहा है कि जिस तरीके से किसान धरने पे बैठ गए सभी बॉर्डरों पे, सिंगू बॉर्डर भी, यूपी का गाजीपुर बॉर्डर भी, तो जो आम जनता है उसको बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है, कहीं ना कहीं लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की सिचुएशन बन सकती है, ये एक शुभा जो है ये बार बार व्यक्त किया जा रहा है।
नहीं, वहाँ तो नहीं, कोई निकल रहे लोग तो निकल रहे।
आपको लगता है कि शांतिपूर्वक किसान बैठे रहेंगे?
शांतिपूर्ण बैठे रहेंगे,
कोई कानून व्यवस्था की स्थिति
नहीं, कानून क्यों तोड़ेंगे हम? भाई, कानून भी हमारा ही है, पुलिस भी हमारा ही है, हम पूर्ण रूप से बहुत शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से लोग बैठे, कोई न्यूसेंस नहीं, कोई गलत तरीके का आदमी हमारे उसमें इंटरफेयर नहीं कर सकता, कोई स्पीसीज नहीं दे सकता, उस पर पूर्ण रूप से सब बैन है।
हम तो तीनों कानून रद्द, बिजली शोध बिल रद्द, और MSP जो है वो पूरे देश में जो है वो लागू की जाए लिखित रूप में।
सरकार बदलाव करने के लिए तैयार है, बदलाव पे आप नहीं मानेंगे?
हम बदलाव पर नहीं है, हम बिल्कुल, हम तो जो पहला फैसला किया वो अटल।
मकसद ये है कानून वापस ले और MSP की गारंटी दे। अच्छा। सजा का प्रावधान।
इससे कम पे आप नहीं मानेंगे?
नहीं, इससे कम।
संशोधन आप कहते हैं कि संशोधन काफी नहीं है?
काफी नहीं है संशोधन। जब उसमें देखो, एक चीज है, आज सरकार कह रही है कि संशोधन उसमें करेंगे, संशोधन हम ये कह रहे हैं कि जब इसको किसान को जरूरत ही नहीं है इस चीज की, भाई नुकसान हमारा हो रहा है, आप हमारा फायदा क्यों करवाते हो? जब हम किसान पूरे देश का अड़ा हुआ, हम नहीं चाहते कानून, तो सरकार क्यों जबरदस्ती कानून बना रही है?
My colleague Akshita Nandgopal will explain to you in detail the demands put forth by the agitating farmers.
And ahead of this round of talks, the latest round of talks between the centre and farmers, let me explain for you what the farmers are demanding. First, they want a special parliament session and a discussion, a fresh discussion on the 3 new farm laws. They're demanding for a strict national law on minimum support price. They want it in writing that MSP will stay and that nobody will in fact tamper with minimum support price. The farmers have been very, very adamant on the repealing of the 3 new farm laws. They're saying that this is non-negotiable, something that the government has said they're not willing to do. The farmers have also put across a demand that the Swaminathan report on particularly minimum support price is implemented by the government. Besides that, the farmers have said that we must stop jailing and penalizing farmers for pollution, because there is a clause which mentions stubble burning and talks about punishment for farmers who resort to stubble burning. The farmers want that particular clause removed. They've also demanded the slashing of diesel prices for agricultural use by 50% in their list of demands. Now, one more demand they put forth to the government in their dialogue with the centre is that all rights activists must be released, all those who've been jailed and whose action has has been taken against. They want those cases to be dropped.
All right, let's get in a word from both Rahul Srivastav and Anand Patel, who are joining us outside the Vigyan Bhavan right now. You know, Rahul, from here on, what does it look like? Because then this is going to be a complete Mexican standoff. The farmers are refusing to relent if all these 3 farm laws are not taken back. The government, where the biggest sticking point was MSP, is willing to give it in writing. Is it also open to amending the law and putting MSP in it?
Preeti, putting it into the statute is very difficult for the government. And as far as written assurance goes, Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar, at the time when Akali Dal was part of the NDA and Harsimrat Kaur was a member of the Council of Ministers of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, had on the offer of Akali Dal gone to Punjab, issued a written statement that didn't work, didn't even convince the Akali Dal. Akali Dal walked out of the Council of Ministers and the NDA. So now the farmers treat it more as a piece of paper, and which has no value. And so an assurance after coming so far is not really going to work, because eventually when the farmer leaders came, they have already convinced the farmers who came to protest that the government is not agreeing to the demands, and there is a threat despite that written assurance. So how can the farm union leaders go back to the farmers? They will lose credibility, and that might be problematic. And that is why in the current scenario for the government, the odds are really high. What the government's problem is that, one, there is a Bandh call on the 8th. If the protests start all over the country, then the government will have to handle a situation in which the government can well tagged as anti-farmer, and that's something that the government would like to avoid. Also, not just in states like Punjab, but there is a crisis brewing in a state like Haryana for the government. It's a BJP government depending on JJP for support, and already the JJP MLAs and MPs are under pressure from the farmers that why are you staying on the wrong side of the political fence. So they are under pressure to join in the farm protests. In that scenario, Mr. Huda, who is the next Chief Minister of the Congress Party, is pushing for a trust vote against the government. That can be problematic. If there is a trust vote on the farm issue, then definitely the JJP will be caught in a bind whether to go with the Khattar government or with the farmers. That's why the government has to create something before the 8th of December. What it will be, one will have to wait and see, but something more than an assurance on the MSP issue is what our sources are saying is likely to come.
Well, there are, Rahul, about at least 4 to 5 MLAs from the Khattar government who are with the JJP, extremely against the way the JJP is dealing with the situation on hand. So you're very right there, but I want to cut across to Anand Patel also, who's joining us. Anand, are we looking at a situation right now, the farmers, what are the internal dynamics of the farmers? Because now it seems it's all or nothing. They think that it's a protest that has come right now to Delhi after 32 years. If you go back, a protest like that, possibly our country had seen 32 years ago. They want to build on it. All or nothing. They are hoping that it goes the land acquisition way. Is that what they are hoping for? Because then it will all come down to the government, if they give or not. Otherwise, it's a full-blown agitation with already of what we are facing.
Well, absolutely. The farmers, it's for them, it's a do or die battle, you see. Punjab and Haryana, farmers completely rely on the procurement by the government agencies, be it the central or the state agencies, who procure wheat and paddy from them, and they get a fixed return. So once the MSP procurement on MSP by the government agencies are gone as per the new laws, they are left nowhere to go. And they see that this fixed income will go out of their hands. The prosperity which you see, Preeti, in Punjab and Haryana is because the government agencies started procuring after the Green Revolution. And that is the reason why the farmers feel if these laws are put into practice, they will be at the mercy of the private players who will be fleecing them, and they will not get the real price of their produce. Already the farmers are under a lot of pressure because the input costs are rising and they are not getting their due. On top of that, if the private players come into the picture, for instance, you'd see the Essential Commodities Act, which has been watered down, and the government is saying that the government will intervene only when the price is at 100%. double the value. So clearly the farmers see that if the private players have a stock at hand in their silos and in their warehouses, they will release these stocks just before a new crop is due, which will lead to a fall in price, and the farmers will not even get their input costs. So these are the fears which are on the ground, which are realistic fears of the farmers, because of which it's a do or die battle for them. And that is why the farmer unions have given this a war cry, that they will come to Delhi, the Delhi Chalo call, they will come to Delhi और जीत के जाएंगे, पीठ दिखा के नहीं जाएंगे. That means they will not show their backs, they will win and go back from here. And that is the reason why you see so many hurdles were created when they were coming from Punjab by the Khattar government in Haryana. We got dramatic visuals on the National Highway 1, and the farmers were undeterred. They marched their way to Delhi, and they are now at the Delhi border waiting for an outcome of the meeting which is taking place here in the Vigyan Bhavan.
Well, gentlemen, appreciate you joining us, because most of them you speak to right now, most farm unions, they actually now believe that this is a agitation which can only build, because as per them, the last time farmers had turned to Delhi and the call of Chalo Delhi was made was 32 years ago. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments that take place in this meeting there. It's round 3. It's pretty much the finale, because a lot will come out of this meeting or nothing will come out of this meeting. Meanwhile, farmers protesting against the new farm laws have raised the stakes which we were talking to you about and given a call for Bharat Bandh now on December 8th. The farmers have threatened to intensify their agitation and block more routes leading to Delhi if the government does not accept their demand. 6 entry exit points to the national capital remain blocked. NH44 has been closed on both sides. Meanwhile, support continues to pour in. DMK Chief Stalin led a protest in Trichy in support of farmers. Protesters came in bullock carts and staged a symbolic demonstration. In Bihar, RJD is protesting at Patna's Gandhi Maidan against the farm laws. The protest is being led by leader of opposition Tejasvi Yadav. Yesterday, the Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee spoke to agitating farmers, assuring full support to their demand. All eyes are on today's meeting. If the government fails to convince the farmers, Delhi will be staring at a long-drawn agitation on its borders.
அந்த போராட்டத்தை நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த விவசாய பெருங்குடி மக்களுக்கு இந்த மேடையிலே நின்று கொண்டு அந்த விவசாய பெருங்குடி மக்கள் அத்தனை பேருக்கு என்னுடைய வணக்கத்தை सैल्यूट என்று அடிக்கக்கூடிய வகையில் அவருக்கு பாராட்டை நான் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்ள விரும்புகிறேன்.
सरकार की बातचीत हो रही है किसानों के साथ, लेकिन निष्कर्ष
ढाकोसला है, वो दिखावा है. बातचीत अगर अच्छी होती तो किसान अपना खाना लेके गए, अपना खाया. 8 तारीख को भारत बंद करने का ऐलान है. आप जो है पार्लियामेंट का विशेष सत्र बुलाइए और लिखित तौर पे दीजिए एमएसपी का. जहां तक बात है,
भारत बंद को समर्थन रहेगा,
सब लोगों का रहेगा, पूरा देश खड़ा है.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਕੁਝ ਨਵੇਂ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਲਏ ਗਏ ਨੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 5 ਦਸੰਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਦੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਪੋਰੇਟ ਘਰਾਣਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਪੁਤਲੇ ਫੂਕੇ ਜਾਣਗੇ. ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 5 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਰਪੋਰੇਟ ਘਰਾਣੇ ਤੇ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਪੁਤਲੇ ਫੂਕੇ ਜਾਣਗੇ. 7 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਮੈਡਲ ਮਿਲੇ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹ ਆਪਦੇ ਮੈਡਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਵਾਪਸ ਕਰਨਗੇ. ਔਰ 8 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ, ਪੂਰਨ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਭਾਰਤ ਬੰਦ ਦਾ ਸੱਦਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਸਾਰਾ ਭਾਰਤ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਵਾਂਗੇ.
Connecting to colleague Aishwarya Paliwal, who's joining us from the Ghazipur border. Aishwarya, the farmers have already given a clarion call for a Bharat Bandh on the 8th of December, which happened yesterday, even a day before the talks were planned, which is today. Where, you know, you've been talking to a multitude of protesters. These are not farm union heads. Do they understand the enormity of the situation? Will they be okay if MSP is given in writing, or do they stand for all or nothing?
Well, Preeti, let me tell you, the mood here is very aggressive. The farmers are very clear. This is an all-out war. It's either a complete rollback of the 3 farm laws, or they are saying they will not budge. Just see the strength of the farmers here. The numbers just keep on swelling every hour. In fact, late last night, more farmers from the state of Uttar Pradesh joined in this protest. Now, farmers from other states are also saying they will join in the protest, and now all eyes are at that very crucial meeting which is taking place at the Vigyan Bhavan. Farmers here say they don't have any dearth of ration. More trucks are on their way and they are all preparing themselves for the Bharat Bandh call which has been given, which will happen if no conclusion comes out of today's meeting. So the situation here is very tense, Preeti. On the other side, you will be able to see the deployment of the police personnel has also been increased many folds. The administration here at the Ghazipur border understands the situation might turn volatile in case the talks are inconclusive today. Back to you, Preeti.
A lot is being made, Aishwarya, that the farmers are blocking essential vehicles. Is that happening? I want you to give us the true picture, at least at the Ghazipur border.
No, Preeti, let me tell you, if we talk about the Ghazipur border, this one lane which you see, the farmers have made a clear demarcation. This one lane which you see here, I'll ask Ritesh to show you this. They have made a barricade here, so the farmers are sitting on that side of the barricade, and this one lane is dedicated for ambulances and for anyone who is carrying essential commodities. At least here at the Ghazipur border, patients are not facing any kind of trouble. In fact, on the other side, they have opened the traffic coming from the national capital going all the way till Ghaziabad. That route is open. They have only shut the route where people can come from Uttar Pradesh to the national capital, but here too ambulances are allowed to go. A very clear path has been made by the farmers. So this is the current situation here at the Ghazipur border. Preeti.
Joining us, Aishwarya, we'll continue to come back to you for more.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.